Come on down to Real Rock Radio. You'll find it under St. Louis on KSHE 95.
Anyone who grew up in St. Louis in the 70s recognizes that voice, the voice of KSHE, Bob Burch.
Yeah, so here he is. He's got that big ballsy voice, but hey.
It's just you.
I really don't have a voice like that. But,
There it is. There it is.
It's there.
He's actually got it.
Just a little bit. So, Bob, you're back on the air now, right?
yes.
Yeah, think about it before you answer.
Yes.
Where are you? Where can we hear?
Yeah, it's an internet thing. I'm actually, Ted Hobbick is over there, and Gordon Atkins, and a bunch of the old crowd.
At theroots.fm.
Yeah.
And what's her name?
Katie Cruz. Katie
yeah,
Cruz.
boy, who didn't get any
You get these
sleep
old
last night?
guys that go, let's see, I remember,
Yes, the chick.
Actually, Katie wasn't at KSHE when I was there, so I'm
that's-
meeting her for the first time.
wow.
And then you're doing mornings.
It's I don't know what time it does. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's running, actually, I think it's running right now
What
as
do
we
you-
speak.
Did you ever think that you'd ever do mornings? I
No, I
you
never
were the
did.
late night.
It's
voice
funny
of
how that
KSHE.
happened because John Stevens owns it.
Mm-hmm.
And he called me up one day. No, he called Dick Hewlett, who owns Clayton Studios, and he called me up one day. He said, "Would you be interested in this?" And I said, I'm playing tennis and stuff, And he said, he says, Ted Hobbick's over there and Gordon Atkins is over. And I said, I'll do it. No matter what.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
It takes you back. Now, we're looking at an old footage of you in the studios at KSHE back in the 70s.
Lovely.
Tell us about your memories of the window. Remember the window?
The window, well, I got a lot of activity at the window.
Oh,
Yes,
because
I can
Whoever.
imagine.
I was in there nights for a long time.
Yeah.
And people used to buy we sold tickets out the window, and you did everything out the window.
Everything.
Everything.
That's just limited
Not
to what
just
we
selling
talk about
tickets.
right now.
Is this what family oriented?
Yeah.
No.
There's so many stories we cannot tell.
Yes, I know. No, there was a lot of fun that happened out the window. We weren't allowed to let anybody in the studio.
Now, you and I started about the same time, around 71, I think it was. And I remember somewhere within months of you starting, for some reason, it was never explained to me, and I'm hoping you remember this. You were on the air, and you just said, "I'm naked right now." You stripped down naked and did your show that night naked, and never explained to anyone why you did it.
How do you know he really did that, though?
Oh, I showed up just to see.
Oh,
I
were
had
you
to.
at the window?
You had hair down to here at the time. No, he had the curtain closed that night.
Oh.
Do you remember that?
I
Bob?
don't remember.
See, what a
So-
shame.
I just plain and simply don't remember.
Yeah,
I know.
it's
You
not
just-
a drug
thing, I just
you
don't
don't
remember.
remember.
For the 40 years I was in radio, that was the years spent at KSHE in the 70s that
Yeah, I
were
would
by
agree.
far and
Yeah.
away. I couldn't believe they were actually going to pay me to do this.
And we were young, stupid, and we just liked music, and we didn't know what
and
we were
it
doing.
was it was a lot of fun, and I mean, you had to stay over 2 or 3 hours. Hey, we'd stay over 2 or 3 hours anyway.
Well,
You were-
nothing
when
was
you were
as
doing
exciting
so-
as being
yeah.
there anyway, so
Right.
that was the place to be.
When he
So-
was on 7 to midnight, often like 11:30 at night, the station was full of people. We were all there
yeah.
because we really liked being
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
and
it was-
Shelley Grafman had a lot to do with that, didn't he?
It was. Well, Shelley Grafman had a lot to do with everything for me.
Sure,
but
yeah. Well, I think it did for all of us.
It was a fun time. It was really a good time, and everything was, like I said, very different.
Yeah.
Today's radio is not like that.
Right.
They're so cut and dried.
Yeah.
People come in, they do their job, they want out, they don't want to be involved, and none of us could get more involved.
Well, yeah, right. And even if you did want to be involved, you can't. It's difficult to be involved today. I mean, even at the broadcast stations, they're not willing to pay what they used to pay. Number one, so you're limited on how much
They're
time
not
you can
willing to
spend
pay
there.
$32.70 a week.
That's right.
Well,
Is that what you started at? $32.70 a week?
I think it was 132 actually. But that was a big paycheck. But that's really, I don't think money was even a question or in the issue.
Not for us. Not
that
for us.
came later.
No, but the truth is, we could treat that as a full-time job. Today, it's hard to be on the air and radio and treat it as a full-time
Yeah,
job.
but you take money out of the
impossible, but-
picture and you just say, well, what about radio? Would you like to do if you could do
Yeah.
anything you could about radio?
Bob, could you stay out of this conversation?
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
This
Butt
is-
out.
All right, let's get into some more interesting stuff for the viewers here. The six times.
There he is once again censoring.
Being being program director, the 6 times the F word was said over KSHE while we were there.
What-
I'm aware. Whoa, wait, stop. I'm
was said?
aware that in the 70s, I would say from 71 to 75, the F word was said over the air 6 times that I'm aware of. And I'm going to quiz you on these because you were involved with at least 2 of them.
He doesn't remember.
No, well, I'll see what he does remember. You were involved with at least 2 of them. Once, you were on the air one night. This, to me, you remember this. You were on the air one night, and you were fielding phone calls. You were bored. You had a long record on, and you didn't realize that the phone pot, which is, what you would turn up to hear the phone over the air, was up for some reason. Nobody's really sure why because we never used it. But it was up, and you were talking to somebody, and you didn't realize you were over the air. The content of that conversation will remain unsaid at this point because it's really irrelevant. But what happened was, I'm listening. It was like 9 or 10 at night, and you're having this intimate conversation over the air.
Oh,
so
with somebody on the phone.
I called you up, not thinking.
I do.
Okay, so I called the hotline. And here's what we hear over the air. Hold on, the hotline's ringing. Yeah, that's how you would answer the phone. Yeah, I said, Bob, you're on the air. He goes, you go. I know I'm on the air. I said, no, you're on the air right now, Bob. I know I'm on the air right now. No, Bob, the pot is up. We can hear everything you're saying over the air right now. And there's this pause, and you go, and then you said the F word before you took it off the air.
Yeah, I do remember. I do vaguely. I can say that happened.
Okay. So you remember the important stuff.
That's the kind of fun that we used to have because you do that now, and it's no big deal.
No, Your Honor. And then there was the time you and I are driving around, and David Rhodes, who came from South Africa, Cape Town.
Bahamas.
The Bahamas? Okay,
yeah.
but he was British.
Yes.
He had a beautiful British accent. And you and I just loved the guy. He was a great guy.
He was a great guy.
It was his first day on the air, or it was his first week on the air. And you and I are driving around with pride listening to him.
Are you going to tell the story about when he pronounces the
You
shoes?
You tell it.
Oh, Jesus. I swear. He's like you said, he had a marvelous speaking voice.
Yeah.
And that really was why he was hired. And he's reading some copy about something, and I don't remember, but he sees Adidas, the shoes, and he doesn't know what it is. And he's calling him Adidas. I thought it was hysterical.
That was one of the stories, but this is the one with the car dealership.
I don't remember
Where
that
he's trying to read a price.
He was trying to read the price of the car. It was a local car dealership, and it came to the price. They read prices differently there. So he goes, and it's only dollars, tooth, said the word. He gave up and just but he said it beautifully. Now, we were really short on time, but if we did not talk about, if we didn't mention Michelle Phillips, we would be remiss here.
Yeah, you were married to Michelle Phillips, who we all know from the Mamas and the Papas.
Tell everyone who's never heard your story about how you and you moved to L.A. because you were the national PD for Century.
And how did you guys meet?
I moved to L.A. as a national PD, and it was at Christmas, and Christmas is always off time. So myself and a bunch of guys that can remain nameless were big, head of the record companies, and several of us all went over to Hawaii, and we just were going to lay up for a week. And one guy, multi-rich, and he had rented out the almost the entire floor at the Royal Hawaiian. So we were it was all guys. It was about 6 of us. And we'd go to the beach every day and kind of, relaxing from the night before. And we met Bob Raison, who was, he's dead now, but he was a crazy, crazy guy and very gay and very fun. And we invited him and his partner up to the suite that night, and then every girl we met on the beach. And we had a party. That was every night.
Handing out invitations on the beach.
And it turned out we were there 10 days, I think, and spent quite a bit of time around Raison. And when we got back, Raison had asked, he had told us that he was handling Michelle amongst others, and he asked us if we would participate with him in coaching her regarding her singing career. So we said, yeah. This is Ray Anderson.
We're supposed to be off now.
And we went back, and long story short, I happened to, he trapped me, really. I was going with a girl at the time, and he asked me to come, and then we didn't have cell phones. I was trying to call it off, and he showed up, and I went, and the rest is kind of history.
Yeah. But so, did you know before you showed up it was Michelle Phillips?
Did I know?
That's who you were going to be coaching?
Yes.
I mean, a woman who had already been very successful in the record industry with Mamas and the Papas.
She'd done that, and she'd done a lot of films and stuff, and then she was doing this solo album.
Okay, all right.
Bob asked us if we'd take some time, and I didn't, it was easier to say yes in Hawaii than it was back here, and so I went, and the rest is kind of
Well, that must have been,
history.
not the easiest thing to start off on. You have this relationship where you're supposed to be working with her, and then she's like got a lot of anxiety about whether her career is going to take off, and she's probably looking to you for help, and you're probably
we didn't coach that long.
Coaching moved into a whole different area. Bob, thank you so much for coming in today and talking.
It's my pleasure. Anytime for you guys.
And thank you to our generous sponsor making our segment possible today, Abusi Maselli Insurance, continuously working to provide the individual coverage you require. They also handle commercial, life, and health insurance. Contact Tina Maselli at 314-832-6667.